Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, the King in Giallo. Today, we're doing a product review for Celluloid Dreams' Blu-ray release for Cesare Canevari's caper and proto-giallo film, A Hyena in the Safe, released on July 26, 1968. Considering I have already given this film an overview in my Forgotten Giallo Films episode 8 for 1968 part 2, I will be briefly retreading that territory. Well, let's waste no time and get right into it. Here is A Hyena in the Safe overview. A Hyena in the Safe is directed by Cesare Canevari, who also wrote the film alongside Alberto Pena. Music is composed by John Piero Reverberi. It stars Dmitry Nabokov as Steve, Maria Luisa Geisberger as Anna, Ben Salvador as Juan, Stan O'Gadwin as Klaus, Alex Morrison as Albert, Karina Carr as Carina, and Cristina Gaioni as Janine. A Hyena in the Safe is built on a killer setup. One safe, 6 keys, and 6 robbers, each expecting their cut of a diamond heist when they finally reunite after months in hiding. But before anyone can even get that safe open and touch the glittering payoff, the group starts getting wiped out one by one. As the bodies stack up, paranoia and suspicion become the real currency in the room, because it becomes obvious that one of them isn't here to split anything. Somebody wants all the diamonds, and they're willing to turn the reunion into a slaughterhouse to get them. This is Cesare Canevari, directing and co-writing, and if you know him from Metallo, you already understand the vibe. Dark humor, a gleefully untrustworthy tone, and that free-spirited, flamboyant 60s energy where the movie can pivot from playful to nasty to surreal without warning. It's a caper framework, but the engine is pure suspicion, betrayal, and escalation, like a locked room greed trap where the prize isn't just diamonds, it's survival. A weird little miracle of a film that plays like a caper movie and a giallo had a delirious late 60s fling and never apologized for it. This is not a mystery in the traditional giallo sense. There is no masked killer, no black gloves, although there are a few operatic murder set pieces. Instead, the film functions as a proto-giallo crime study, obsessed with greed, moral rot, and the inevitability of self-destruction. Everyone lies, everyone manipulates, and everyone believes they are smarter than the people around them. I've typically called these types of giallo and giallo-adjacent films either Agatha Christie-like or 10 Little Indians-like, but the term I've landed on recently is greed trap. This would include films like Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood, as well as $5 for an August Moon. The characters are all there, and they're all killing each other off for some prize. If anybody was to just leave, they probably would survive. Canevari directs the film with a detached, almost cruel eye. Long stretches unfold without music, allowing scenes to breathe uncomfortably. Violence is abrupt and unromantic. When it happens, it's ugly, more about consequence than spectacle. In that sense, A Hyena in the Safe feels closer to Italian noir than to the gialli that would dominate the early 1970s, but its psychological bleakness places it firmly in the genre's evolutionary bloodline. A Hyena in the Safe is a caper with a giallo heartbeat. Greed, mistrust, and bodies dropping before anyone even gets to the prize. Canevari's tone is nasty funny, stylish, and unpredictably psychedelic, and that late 60s swagger gives it a personality that cleaner, more respectable thrillers wouldn't even dare attempt. Now, let's talk about the Celluloid Dreams release itself. First up, the presentation. The Celluloid Dreams release comes housed in a sturdy slipcover with clean, understated artwork that fits the film's grim tone. Inside, you'll find a standard Blu-ray case containing the disc and a printed insert detailing the restoration and technical specifications, along with a preview of Celluloid Dreams' upcoming releases. As for physical goodies, yes, lobby cards are included and they matter. This is the kind of title where tactile extras feel right, because the whole experience is about rediscovering an offbeat, under-discussed gem. Lobby cards are collector candy, and they make the release feel like an event, not just a file on a shelf. The Blu-ray features a new high-definition restoration sourced from the best available film elements. The image immediately stands apart from previous home video incarnations, which tended to look flat, murky, and poorly balanced. Here, contrast is strong without crushing blacks and shadow detail. Crucial for a film that often unfolds in dim interiors is finally visible. The color grading leans naturalistic, avoiding the yellowish or green-tinted look that plagued earlier transfers. Skin tones are stable, and the film's subdued palette feels intentional rather than degraded. Film grain is present and intact. It's never noisy or distracting, but it's clearly there, an unmistakable sign that the image hasn't been scrubbed into digital wax. This is a respectful presentation that preserves the texture of late 1960s Italian cinema. The aspect ratio is presented correctly, and the 1080p encode is clean, with no noticeable compression artifacts. For a film this small and this strange, this is about as good as it's ever going to look. Audio is presented in lossless DTS HD. Dialogue is clear, ambient noise is properly resolved, and there's no evidence of distortion or harsh filtering. This is a grounded, dialogue-driven film, and the audio presentation suits it perfectly. No artificial expansion, no gimmicks, just clean, faithful sound. This Blu-ray features a new, high-definition restored transfer from a studio-provided master, and the film is presented in its original Italian language. To be crystal clear, there is no English language version of the movie on this release, but it does include an English commentary track by film critic Guido Henkel, which is exactly the kind of track you want for a film like this. Context, production insight, and genre positioning without pretending the movie is something it isn't. Now, for the on-disc special features, which are stacked in a way that actually complements the film instead of padding runtime. Commentary track by Guido Henkel as discussed, a 51-minute interview featurette entitled 7 Guests for a Massacre featuring Cesare Canevari, Sandro Pizzacchero, Nini della Misericordia, Adriana Molacchi, and Diego Pisati. A 25-minute video essay by Andy Marshall Roberts entitled Schrodinger's Diamonds, The Duplicitous Mystery of Hyena in the Safe. An 8-minute featurette entitled The Mysteries of Villa Toplitz, the theatrical trailer, and an image gallery. That's the exact kind of feature set I like for a film like this. One longer, meatier interview piece, one critical video essay that can frame the movie's tricks and misdirection, and then a short location history supplement that deepens the texture. It's curated, not random. Celluloid Dreams gives it a proper home here. Restored HD presentation, original Italian audio, a strong commentary, and supplements that actually explain why this oddball hybrid deserves a spot in your collection. My final thoughts. A Hyena in the Safe is not a crowd pleaser. It's mean, dry, and deliberately uncomfortable. But for giallo historians, crime film devotees, and collectors interested in the genre's transitional years, this film is essential. Celluloid Dreams' Blu-ray doesn't just resurrect a neglected title, it repositions it, giving the film the clarity and seriousness it always deserved. This is the definitive home video release of A Hyena in the Safe, and a strong signal that Celluloid Dreams understands exactly who they're making these releases for. If you're curious about where giallo came from, before the gloves, before the operatic violence, this disc belongs on your shelf. And that's your product review of A Hyena in the Safe, now available from Celluloid Dreams. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think. Does its restraint work for you, or do you miss the excess? Check out the Forgotten Giallo Films episode which covered A Hyena in the Safe, as well as my unscripted talking head movie review. Thank you very much for your continued support. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
Ridammi i brillanti, li vado a rimettere con gli altri nella borsa. Tu aspettami qui, eh? Ah!